Welcome back, and today we're going to be taking a tour through two of New York City's most iconic destinations. So in this video, we'll be diving into the fascinating history aboard the U.S.S Intrepid, a legendary aircraft carrier that's now a museum filled with some of the tales and bravery of innovation. Then we're going to take a peaceful stroll through Greenwood Cemetery, a breathtaking 19th century landmark known for its beautiful landscapes and its rich heritage. So get ready to discover remarkable stories, stunning visuals, and some hidden gems as we explore the legendary U.S.S Intrepid and the tranquil grounds of Greenwood Cemetery. Whether you're a history buff or not, buckle in. Let's go. For centuries, the path to service in the U.S. Navy was largely closed to African Americans. However, the winds of change began to blow about the time the Civil War erupted. The U.S. Navy had started to open up its doors, albeit slowly, and with some significant challenges. This wasn't just about filling quotas, though. It was about recognizing the inherent value and capability of every individual, regardless of their race. That's what they said. But during the Civil War, the U.S. Navy did become a beacon of opportunity for many African Americans seeking freedom and the chance to contribute to the Union's cause. See, thousands of Black men, many of them formerly enslaved, joined the ranks. They served bravely. They became cooks, sailors, stokers. They performed essential duties to help with the Union's cause. Their presence on the naval vessels was a stark contrast to the deeply entrenched segregation prevalent in the country. So the treatment of African Americans in the Navy during this time was a complex tapestry. While they were often paid less, much less than their white counterparts, and faced prejudice from some of the naval officers or enlisted in the environment, it did offer a degree of integration and respect that was rare elsewhere, right? So there were most of are treated pretty well by their fellow counterparts. This was a significant step forward, demonstrating the competence and the courage known outside as rare. It knew no color in the Navy. They participated in crucial blockades, amphibious assaults, naval battles, playing an instrumental role in securing Union victories. Their service was not just a personal act of defiance against slavery, but it was a profound contribution to the very fabric of the nation's future. They proved above and beyond the shadow of a doubt, that African Americans were not only capable of serving, but were essential to the success of the U.S. Navy. Their legacy is a testament to the perseverance and the unwavering pursuit of equality. It's a story that deserves to be remembered. It is much more of a story that should be absolutely celebrated. So we're here to see the inside of the U.S.S Intrepid, but I want to tie this story in with the service of the African American with this country's pursuit for defense. Stepping aboard is like stepping back in time, but that's where I become a bit more conflicted. It's the back in time part. See, not so long ago, those who served this country on board floating vessels and fortresses like this, the U.S.S Intrepid, or in U.S. military uniforms, they weren't always treated equal or, the same. Throughout history, the path to full integration and equal opportunity within the U.S. military has been a long and challenging one. Wow. Many American presidents and many of its military leaders have championed progress. Many, and I mean many others, were influenced by the prevailing societal prejudices of their times and unfortunately limited the roles of recognition of those Black soldiers. As soon as you enter the museum, you run right into the Growler. For truly an immersive experience, you can venture inside the U.S.S Growler, which is an American
guided missile submarine. It's the only one that's available to be seen in public. You can crawl through the narrow passageways. You can peek into the control room and imagine what life was like for the crew during everyday regular operations. It's actually a rare opportunity to explore the submarine's technology firsthand. Just standing there, you can't miss the sounds of the clunky metals and the eeriness of the vessel creaking and swaying like an enormous gray sea whale. Not sure what one of those looks like, but sounds like it's something really good to say. So, welcome aboard the fabulous U.S.S Intrepid, one of America's most iconic aircraft carriers, and home of the Intrepid Sea and Air Space Museum. So today we're going to embark on an exciting journey through this history, exploring the decks, the exhibits, and the stories that make this museum a must-see destination. Right here, we'll be entering through what was called the hangar deck. This is where you'll find a lot of the storage space for the aircraft. Just like a garage, but it was just for the planes below deck. This is actually my second ship I've ever been on. The other one, just like this, an aircraft carrier, the U.S.S Saratoga, but more on that in a minute. The Intrepid began its service, or as we say, commissioned back in 1943. It actually served during World War II. Once it was retired, it was transformed into this museum and put on a display for us. As you walk through the hangar deck here, you see endless amounts of history and interactive exhibits, multimedia displays everywhere with videos and all types of things that inform and educate and make you more aware of the history of this vessel, its people, and the aircraft. Many people who sail on these vessels are not sailors. This is a Marine uniform. They travel along with the military. So you are either an airman or sailor. I was an airman. What that means is I worked on land at one of the military bases. Sailors sail on the ships. The only distinction. So that is why this, the U.S.S Intrepid, would be the only ship second to my one visit on the U.S.S Saratoga in my 4-year career as a Navy serviceman. How about that? Here we've entered to the flight deck. This is one of the most exciting parts of the vessel because it's the actual runway of the aircraft. They take off, they land. So just being able to walk up and down and see the various restored and former active aircrafts is just one of the most exciting parts of the tour. It's really the crown jewel to me. In addition to aircraft, you have helicopters and F-14 Tomcat, which is very popular fighter jet. So this is one of the best experiences if you're going to visit the Intrepid, to go up to the flight deck and just kind of take your time and kind of walk around. Visible from the flight deck is this beautiful British Airways Concorde jet. If you get an opportunity to visit the U.S.S Intrepid, make sure you stop by the Space Shuttle Pavilion. It features this prototype orbiter of the Enterprise NASA shuttle. Just to see up close, to be able to walk up under it, it's huge. And so it would be great to make sure you stop by this pavilion and participate in it. They have all types of other little programs for people of all ages. Just a must-see. The U.S.S Intrepid Museum really does offer something for everyone, with engaging exhibits, educational programs, and breathtaking views of the Hudson River. Your visit promises to be an unforgettable one. Thanks for joining on this one.
When the Trump administration announced recently the deployment of Navy ships off the coast of Venezuela, he said the goal was to combat drug trafficking. The idea was to increase pressure on President Maduro. The administration then argued that this is an enormous show of force, only intended to deter drug smugglers and send a clear message. Let's get this out of the way. I'm an American, but there is nothing this American president ever says that is credible. And it usually ends up in court, or some kind of investigation soon follows. So listen, the concern of this deployment of naval assets could be interpreted in different ways. Some analysts and international observers suggested that this could be seen as an escalation of tensions in an already volatile region of the world. And it is. There are concerns that it might even be perceived as a veiled threat or an attempt to interfere and create chaos. And it is. No one honestly thinks this is about stopping drugs. Listen, one reason is the drugs aren't even coming from Venezuela. There's that. About threatening Mexico. Well, because, Venezuela sits on one of the largest, if not the largest oil reserves on the planet, even more than Saudi Arabia. The naval buildup is more about destabilizing the Caribbean and Venezuela in efforts to create an internal civil war and seizing the oil. Typical American blueprint. Well, when these words are being used like American interests, then ask, what exactly are those American interests? If it quacks like a duck, it's usually a darn duck. China and Russia have entered the chat. Is this naval buildup necessary? Absolutely not. Venezuela has already got a lot going on. Listen, but since African countries have already begun to clamp down on the export of their natural resources earlier this year, the world is scrambling for new places to destabilize for the purpose of humanitarian aid or partnerships. We cannot forget our What's in a Name segment. So today it's going to take us to North Carolina. North Carolina has a very large city. Everyone's heard of it, at least here in the States. It's called Charlotte, North Carolina. What's in a name? North Carolina, Carolina, was an attribute or a throwback to King Charles I, and obviously then the second. But that was the Caroline age. But that's not what we're talking about. Many of you have seen the show Bridgerton. Although it is fiction, it is based on a character, Charlotte of Mecklenburg. She was born a German princess, married King George III of Britain. Many say because of her hue of skin that she was obviously not white. And so King George had married this beautiful princess from Germany. In her honor, they would name one of Britain's largest new cities or colonies after her. And so Charlotte, North Carolina, is named after Charlotte of Mecklenburg, wife of King George III. It is also the portrait Queen Elizabeth II took Meghan Markle to, because it is no doubt that many had said throughout time that Charlotte was Black. She had become the first Black member of the royal family in Europe. And so this is where Queen Elizabeth II takes Meghan Markle, who had just married Prince Harry. Let's look it up here somewhere. Prince Harry, and to let her know you're in good company. That portrait of Queen Charlotte actually still hangs in Buckingham Palace. And so not only is Charlotte named after Queen Charlotte, because King George III really loved her, but the largest county in Charlotte is Mecklenburg County. So Charlotte of Mecklenburg is attributed to the city and state Charlotte, North Carolina, Mecklenburg County. What's in the name? Throughout history, Black individuals have consistently sought to serve their country, but with racism, it would still kind of linger through their death. Why? Because they knew Africans and later African Americans often would only join the fight to better their lives, give themselves some opportunities they would have either never had otherwise in America. Although Black soldiers had served with distinction, often against considerable odds, families of white soldiers didn't even want their deceased loved ones buried near the Blacks. So many historical military cemeteries decided that we should segregate them even in death. I brought you to one of those cemeteries today. This is Greenwood Cemetery. 5,200 soldiers who fought in the Civil War buried here. But somehow, no one found it odd that none of them were Black, although 178,000 had fought in the war. 178,000 Blacks had fought in the war. Researchers found that there were almost 2,000 unmarked graves here belonging to soldiers. Why were they without names? All this time, Why were they separated from the others? There's an area here, and I'll show it to you. It's called colored lots, but it would be given a new name, freedom lots. The practice of burying blacks of enslaved people without headstones was a common practice. It was as if we weren't supposed to be remembered. Just across the river, you'll see the Statue of Liberty. But as I stand on this hill in Greenwood Cemetery, we wind up at Freedom Lots. Nearly 2,000 African American soldiers are buried here in unmarked graves. It's very common over time. All of these monuments to lives lived, statues erected in their memories, lives challenged, obstacles and hurdles. But what did they get? They got unmarked stones. This is what they got. Many of these are marked, but many of these individuals, I won't show their names, I don't want to embarrass their families, but the names are on this side, backs to many of those. Some of these blank spaces here are not blank at all. They just are unmarked. For a country they fought for. I started this channel to do many things. One was to explain the contributions of the diaspora. It was to celebrate the innovations and the resilience of the African American. But it was also to document my transition from this country to the continent. Now, before this, I was looking for land in London. I ain't gonna lie to you, right? I'm a history person. I'm going to England because I felt, everything, was there. But that was really a bias, not education, not information, not like real. So I played that out. I investigated everything that I could. I looked into everything possible. I did everything. But everyone's circumstances are going to be different, right? So then I realized, well, okay, I can't do London. I can't go to England. I wasn't even talking about London. I'm talking about like Essex. I'm looking at stuff way out in the bush that, I could afford. But it just didn't work out. So I started looking closer to America. I wanted to look at Curacao, the Bahamas. I looked at a lot of the Caribbean, and whether it was, legislation or legal things or, I looked at, then a friend of mine, Mary, y'all know Mary soon, but she was like, oh, you should do this. I'm like, no, absolutely not. I'm never going to do that. And she was talking about go to Africa. I said, nope. And so, but I wrote a book, which we'll get to later. And it's amazing because the book actually educated me on things I was not aware of. And I thought I was a pretty smart person. And so I began to look at, do I have this all wrong? And so maybe I need to look at Africa, right? And instantly, everything started hitting off. You start meeting the right people, talking to the right people. And I'm going to shout one gentleman out. He doesn't know this. He has a wonderful page. And I want you guys, listen, if you are interested in building a home, if you are interested in buying land, if you are interested in, Rush Asari is your guy. You are going to feel the trust. You are going to feel his passion for what he does. This guy is amazing. And I want you to, if nothing else, just follow his YouTube channel. You are gonna get what I mean. He is very straightforward. I've never met him in person, but I want you, trust me. So the plan was I was gonna move to Ghana. So you can do everything right. And so this is a part of me documenting what those of us need to be doing before we get there. Remember when I said that? So you're gonna face some hurdles and but it's not because I wasn't getting the right information. I was. There's some legislations coming down in Ghana that will not support how I feel about certain things. These were already in the books. This is nothing new. It was just new to me. And so this legislation that's coming through the Supreme Court, which need to be dealt with by the Parliament there, it caused some trepidation. It made me think, well, I'm leaving here for this reason. I don't want to go and face this someplace else. Now, Ghana is amazing. And I don't want this to be a slight to anybody. I'm just telling you about my decision. So for those people, I've already said, oh, I'm moving to Ghana. This is the reason I'm not. I wanted to be transparent. I want to be honest, because that's what this is about, to be able to discuss, hey, it's not just the land, it's not just, but does it fit you? Does it fit who you are? Does it, you know, do you feel the connection, right? And so there are many people who I follow who say, oh, I started in Ethiopia and then I moved. I went to Tanzania and then I moved. I went to this. That's wonderful. This is not bad news. I lost nothing, but I want to share with you that, so when people get on these apps, these channels, and they're telling you, oh, there was this spiritual connection, don't do that. What the laws are, don't do that. Don't do that. What are the laws? So for example, I was looking at Kenya and I realized, and this is nothing wrong, it's great, you just need to know. So the rule was, they had just did their constitution over, and it said, hey, so if you want coastal land, you can't buy it if you're a foreigner, because you got to save that for the people here. That's fair. That's fair. I think you can get that. Hey, these other lands that are agricultural, you can't get that either, because that's for the natives here. I get that. I don't think that's a bad thing. But it has to align with what your plans are. We should always go back and invest. And if you don't go back, you should always invest. Pick one. So if I'm looking at building a home or buying land, then you need to make sure, they always say your due diligence. That's great, but make sure it's everything. And so it's not just, so whether it's land, whether it's home, whether it's apartment, whatever it is, know the currency, know the everything. And so although Ghana won't be my home, I love it all the same. But the person I want to shout out today, Russia Sari, is based in Ghana. Afinia, he sells land there. Prom near the coastal beach area, which is where I was going. He is notorious there. He is, I think Afinia, he's called the Afinia boss. If you follow him, just message, hey, following you from Antron or from Diasporant, and let him know we sent you to subscribe to his channel. This guy is amazing. I'm not gonna freaking kid you. He's amazing, wonderful family man, and what he is doing to help people like us, who, whether it's Americans or anywhere from the West, to move there and to get trusted people. This is my shout out of the day. Thanks for joining me today. As always, I want to give you a heads up on what is to come on the next video. We're going to be visiting a location here, famous for it's in relation to the author of a very classic book, Uncle Tom's Cabin, Harriet Beecher Stowe. Well, her brother, Henry Ward Beecher, was a pastor, minister, who started a church here, Plymouth Church. And that location was also used as an underground railroad. So this is where slaves escaping from the southern part of this country to find rescue or to make their way further north up to Canada came through New York. They would knock at the door of this church and find refuge from Henry Ward Beecher. You're going to see footage of literally the underground hiding space underneath the church where those runaway slaves stayed. I was given a absolutely fabulous tour. I was given access to this church, which is still active today. Also, we'll be showing video of a study I was doing, chasing the rock. There's a story around Thanksgiving we all talk about here in the country, where pilgrims landed on Plymouth Rock. Well, I chased the rock, and I want to take you to places I went Ever wondered why presidents have never stood on Plymouth Rock? Why no civil rights activist ever stood at Plymouth Rock? I'll show you why. And it all is going to start at Plymouth Church. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you soon. My information is on the screen. If there's anything we can do for you, reach out to me on the WhatsApp, and I'll talk to you soon.